surveyed for PCMA's annual meetings market survey say food and beverage continues to be their single largest expense, accounting for a third of overall expenses. And 3/4 of those surveyed said they've been asked to cut back on F&B costs. A recent Convene article got feedback from planners about how to cut costs. One way being reducing wastes simply by not ordering as much food and abiding by the idea that no leftovers is a good thing. Let's join a discussion now with Convene Editor-in-Chief Michelle Russell and Mike Dominguez from MGM Resorts.
So do you think that waste factors in, or what are the other things that planners can do to be more creative about managing that cost?
Part of my mission when I'm speaking in the industry is to educate our meeting professionals so that they can go back to their stakeholders. As you said, their bosses are demanding this. Their bosses don't understand what's happening in the real world. We're not even talking about that eggs are up 142% year to date since January. Why? Because we killed 43 million chickens that literally have a bird virus or a swine flu. A bird flu that is going through the Midwest. Nobody's talking about that. 142% increase in eggs, and yet I'm going to have a planner asking me to save them money on a morning buffet that's serving eggs. I can save you money, get eggs off the menu, but now you're going to have attendees that are expecting eggs for breakfast, and they always eat eggs for breakfast, but we haven't had this discussion to say it is unrealistic to expect me to be able to deliver that at a cheaper cost. Lettuce is up 45% in the state of California. Why does that matter? Because California provides 75% of all lettuce to the United States. The drought in California is going to devastate us in pricing when it comes to especially agriculture. These are the conversations we're not having, and yet you have planners saying, I need to save money on food and beverage. I understand that, but food and beverage continues to increase. And the one thing I continue to stress is there's a disconnect in our industry is that your grocery bill is getting more expensive, but for some reason they think the hotels is getting cheaper. That's the disconnect. Now, how do we work through that? You're going to have to really level expectations. I understand the waste component, but the first time you have a buffet piece that doesn't have food in it, you're going to have attendees that are complaining. You're going to have the planners that don't want to bear that responsibility, and then it comes back to the hotels. So how do we start to communicate the expectations appropriately to our attendees to say, we're not going to have a lot of extra food. We may run out. We don't say that because no planner will say that to an attendee, and there's no hotel that's going to allow that to sit empty because at the end of the day, it's going to show us as a poor performer. That's a real interesting dialogue because we have to do a better job of communicating to the attendees what the expectations are if that's what we're trying to accomplish.
Excellent. Thanks, Mike. Great talking to you. Great takeaways.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you.
Mike also pointed out that many organizations are getting away from buffets. We're actually seeing more passed food and served food. And keep in mind, it doesn't always have to be a big, full meal. These are great ideas to think about and see how you can incorporate at your next meeting. For Convene TV, produced by CNTV, I'm Carrie Fairneck.